Fool. No, you're the fool. No, you're the fool. You fool. Ah, fool. Sorry, I'm going about this the wrong way. Let's play games. I'm just excited. Now then. Oh, also, this is a horror game. I have a little bit of, you know, I have a little bit of fear on that because I'm not good with horror games. But it'll probably be fine. There are time choices. Ah.
Let's have some real fun.
It's a cold winter night. Snow started to fall just a couple of hours ago, so the cityscape was littered with a layer of white fluff. It crunches under our feet as we walk down the street.
Ta-da! We're here!
I'm just reading, it's fine. I look up to inspect the tall building before us. It's past midnight, so it is to be expected that most people living here will be asleep by now. Naturally, that also explains why barely any of the windows show any hints of lighting coming from inside. Considering why we're here, it only adds to the creepiness of the situation. I've never been a fan of dark places. That didn't change even when I got my feline features. You'd think that being able to see so much more clearly in the dark would make the dark less scary, wouldn't you? The trouble is, I hear so many more little sounds that I couldn't make out before too. And since I'm not sure what to make out of all of them, the dark's every bit as creepy as it was before. Maybe even more so.
So we are.
I just have to say, it's one of the things that really captured me when I first saw the work in progress for this game and the Kickstarter updates. I wasn't part of the Kickstarter, but looking at this, the art style is gorgeous. It's so amazing. I love it. I just want to say that.
Finally, a response. I thought you were starting to give me the silent treatment again.
It's a fault of mine, and one I'm not too proud of. I tend to get lost in my own head sometimes. Well, quite often, really. Thankfully, Kirin is fairly used to it by now.
I swear, Kirin, of all the buildings in the city, you just had to choose one which seems super creepy. This has to be the sole residential building in the whole office district.
Hey! I don't get lost in my own head all the time. That's Tenho. You're the wrong fox, human.
Oh, but you know it couldn't have just been any building. This one is perfect. And by perfect, you mean... meeting the conditions and being less than 10 miles away from our homes.
Cheerful?
Or are you enjoying our walk in the snow together so much that you'd like to prowl around aimlessly for another hour?
Actually, I do. I love walking outside in the snow. As long as there's no wind, that is heaven. It is so comfy to just walk outside in the snow, hear the crunch of the snow beneath your feet. Weirdo! Hey, I'm Norwegian. We like this stuff. Especially at night. And just walk. Walk in the silence and just hear nature at night. It's just you and the sound of your footsteps. I love that. We will tangent a lot, yes, we tend to do that. But that's par for the course.
Because I don't know about you, but I'm really starting to feel the cold. Was that your plan? So I'd need you to warm me up afterwards? You could have said something, Asahi.
I like this. I just stare at her, not really sure what to say. There's no winning with Kirin when she gets all sly like this. As much as I hate to admit it, it's one of the things I actually like about her.
Oh, why did I sign up for this again?
Because you love me.
Ah, yes. Thank you for reminding me of that questionable fact. Say, do you get the feeling like someone is manipulating someone else for their advantage over here? No? Just me?
Oh, come on. Don't be like that. You know I'm happy you decided to come with me. I'll make it up to you. I promise.
I stare at her for a moment longer before I sigh. I can't really argue with her. Not when she's looking at me like that. I had a silent crush on this girl for the longest time, and never expected to one day find out that the attraction was mutual. The fact that we managed to actually get together still feels so unreal sometimes. I have no idea what you're talking about, TC. There's no calling out here. Nope. If it weren't for the fact that the change affected her too, it would probably never have come to this. As much as I disliked it in the beginning, it made me feel like an outcast among my former peers. After all, our shared experience allowed me to be there for her when she needed it most. It's a memory I'm always going to cherish. That I'm sure. Yes, I know. It's a pretty twisted sort of memory to cherish, but how can I not remember it fondly when it brought us together? I breathe warmly in my hands, rub them together, and then jam them deep into my pockets. It's not much, but hopefully it will help keep some feeling in my fingertips. It's enough to let me focus on the things in the here and now, at least, rather than just how cold it is.
I said it before, and I'll say it again. You get provoked way too easily. You're doing all of this because of the bet with Sapporo, aren't you?
Oh, sure, that's one of the reasons. But that's not the only one. I'm doing it because it's fun.
Fun? Kirin, you've seen the forums. Not a single person out there ever said it was a good idea.
Yes, all those fairy tale stories. Quite tragic, really. Come on, you're not about to tell me you honestly believe those.
So you mean that you don't?
Seriously, girl, we live in the real world. Spooky, scary skeletons don't just pop out of nowhere because someone decided to be an idiot and press some buttons in a certain way.
I can't believe you, of all people, are still saying that strange, unexplained things don't happen. I mean, you did look in the mirror this morning, right?
This is this, and that is that.
So you don't believe this will actually work? Remind me why we're here again?
We are here to prove a point. Namely, that Sapporo can suck it.
I honestly can't believe I let you drag me into this.
Chill, Asahi. We suffer the cold for a while longer, nothing happens, and then Sapporo owes me $50. $50 that will treat us to a nice dinner together.
That's a good reason. That's a very good reason.
I suppose a dinner with you is a pretty good incentive.
See? I knew you'd come around. That being said, wish me luck and all that jazz. I'll be right back.
Kirin?
What? I'm the one who should be getting cold feet here, not you.
Just... You remember all the rules, right? Stay safe, okay?
Oh, that's sweet. Did you know? Tendo tells me this every morning when I go to work. I think it's quite sweet. We would never call anyone out. Also, Laplace, I'm not voice acting. I'm just... Okay, maybe I am voice acting. It's fine.
Asa-chan, be realistic about this. What's an elevator gonna do? Bite me?
I love this drawing. It's so good.
You could always get stuck. That's a realistic possibility, if anything.
I'm sure you'll figure it out if I do. Now, be sure to stay away from the building, since we'd be breaking those majestic rules otherwise.
Doubling down, Laplace. What's this?
Right.
See ya in a bit.
I stare as Kirin approaches the building's entrance, presses one of the intercom buttons, and moments later push the door open. How does she convince people to trust her so quickly, to let her into the building like that? She's gone from my sight before I know it. A faint click as the door closes behind her. There is a feeling of unease pooling in my stomach. All of this being a bad idea. Probably the worst we've had yet, just screams in my head. I'm so going to give Sapporo a piece of my own mind at once. It's not like I can really do much about it now, however. If I were to go after my girlfriend, saying that I've suddenly changed my mind, it would undoubtedly make her angry. My girlfriend. It still makes me all giddy just to think of her that way. But hell, we snuck out of our houses through the window without our parents knowing, just to go through with all of this. If I had a problem with this whole crazy idea, I should have said something way earlier. It's too late now. I wrap my fingers around my phone and pull it away from my pocket. As I do so, I see the screen shows 13 past midnight. It took us around an hour to walk here, and while I dreaded us even being here in the first place, I'm also not looking forward to walking all the way back, especially when it's bound to get colder as the night goes on. Perhaps we could use those $50 to get a ride home instead of a meal. Yeah, if only things worked out that way. With another sigh, I turn away and start to walk towards a small park located in the middle of this godforsaken district. I don't know why part of it is a playground. There can't be many kids here in the day, can there? But it is. And there's a slide, as well as a pair of swings. I'll most likely freeze my ass off if I sit on one, though that would let me lift my feet off the ground for a bit. The cold, snowy ground. I decide to sit down on the nearest one. And just like that, the uneasy feeling of having entered a... What was it Kirin called it? A liminal space? She's so good with words sometimes. One of those places that feels a bit wrong. The feeling hits me, anyway, making the hair to the back of my neck stand up. Your mind usually associates playgrounds with children, laughter, movement, and life in general. It's what they're designed for, after all. So when you get to experience the total opposite of that, when you find yourself sitting in an empty, childless playground in the middle of the night, it doesn't feel right. Your mind associates it with something being off, something just being wrong. Why are you here, Asahi? In a place you shouldn't be. Absent-mindedly, my gaze wanders. Something at the other side of the street catches my attention. It's a vending machine. I happen to have a bit of change with me, and the idea of getting something hot to drink is suddenly a very alluring temptation. It would undoubtedly make the waiting out in the cold less unpleasant. Please say it's a machine that has hot drinks as well as cold ones. With my mind made up, I get back on my feet, checking the time more out of habit than actual curiosity again. 14 past midnight. Only a minute has passed since Kirin disappeared into the building. I am both surprised and not really. The feeling of time passing slower than usual is normal when you obsessively wait for something. Even more so when said waiting is physically uncomfortable. I make my way towards the vending machine without a second thought. To my relief, its glowing buttons do indeed hold promise of a hot drink. Already with a tough choice. What's with this? Oi! What's with this choice? I mean, also these two choices. I like both. But, you know, when we're out in the cold, there's only one option. It is hot chocolate. I'm usually more of a coffee person, but I am in the mood for something sweet. My mind will most likely appreciate sugar rush right now too. It definitely doesn't have anything to do with the fact that it's Kirin's favorite drink. Yeah, I am a coffee person too. Asahi is just like me. I love this. Yeah, it's about time I acknowledge the fact that I've started to consume more sweet stuff because of her. Even though she says I'm sweet enough as I am. It's only when there's a clunk of coins in the change slot that I realize the coca is a bit cheaper than the coffee. Meaning I'll be able to get a can for Kirin when she comes out too. Aww. Choco's best choice. She still likes chocolate though. That's a nice surprise. As I work on opening the bottle, I realize how warm and heavenly it feels in my hands. I wrap my hands around it, enjoying a few moments of bliss as the heat warms my fingers. I take a small sip, instantly happy with the taste. Being able to drink anything warm feels like a godsend right now. Satisfied, at least momentarily, I make my way back to the playground, intending to sit back at the spot I took up before. It's chocolate! I reach the swing and settle down. As I glance up again at the building Kirin slipped into minutes ago, my blood suddenly runs cold. A sense of sudden panic swarms my mind as I try to make sense of what I'm seeing. A building that's dead to the world, all pitch black, with none of its lights shining through the windows anymore. Could all the residents have gone to sleep in the meantime? That's close to impossible, and I know it. A power outage, maybe? I quickly turn around to look at the other building around me. All of those seem the same as when we arrived, with a bright window still present here and there, so surely it can't be it. If the power was cut off, it would affect the whole street, wouldn't it? Or even several streets. Almost spilling my drink, I hastily reach for my phone in my pocket.
What?
I blink, then close my eyes for a moment, certain that something's wrong with my eyesight. The time couldn't just have gone backwards. A small sense of relief floods me as I quickly open my eyes again. It must have been a trick of the light before, or perhaps there was a glitch with my phone's display. Perhaps there's something wrong with me. Remembering what made me reach for my phone in the first place, I raise my head to look at the building before me once more, only to see it in its previous state. The lights are back on, as if they were never gone to begin with. The unease in my stomach stays, though. I know what I saw. I'm pretty sure I couldn't just have imagined it. It's been 5 minutes since Kirin went into the building. Is that enough to ride through a bunch of floors? Would she be mad if I call her so soon? Dwelling at it suddenly feels stupid. I open up the calls app on my phone, and there's a name at the top of the history. She called me just a couple of hours ago to confirm our plans for tonight. Admittedly, her name is also there for the call before that. And one before that, and... Okay, I chat with her a lot. So, one more call now can't hurt, right? I hit the redial button. I should have expected the call wouldn't connect. If she's still inside the elevator, there probably isn't any reception in there, is there? So, what options does that leave me with? Going in after her? Waiting for another 5 minutes? I stare at the building before me intently, afraid to avert my eyes anymore. It's like I'm hopeful my gaze, my constant observation alone would make the light stay. I'm scared of the situation repeating itself. Sometime later, I realize I spent so long just holding my can and fretting about Kirin that my drink has gone from a nice hot drink to, well, undrinkable. Some drinks are not meant to be just kinda warm, and this is one of them. At least, it kept my hands from freezing, I guess. 10 minutes pass. I only feel more cold and helpless. Why can't Kirin just come out of the building now as if nothing had happened and laugh at me for worrying too much? I call her again for good measure. Surprisingly, the call does go through this time. That is eerie.
Hello?
I'm not prepared for what I hear. A woman laughing at the other end. There's something about it that disturbs me to the very core. It's definitely not Kirin's voice. Or is it? All of a sudden, realization hits me. Sapporo, the bet, everything. Now this? None of it could possibly be real. All of this has to be some kind of prank arranged by my classmates. And whether Kirin's in on it... She wouldn't do this to me, would she? The image of her wicked smiling, amused face persistently pops up in my head again. Confusion turns into anger. Before I know it, I'm on my feet, already marching to the building, determination boiling inside of me. There's an obstacle before I can get in, though, as I obviously don't have the key to the entrance door. What kind of excuse would be plausible at this sort of hour? I stab at the button that I think Kirin pressed, and then almost immediately regret it. What if I press the wrong button? What if I press the right one? And sound stupid when the other person asks who's there? What if, to my surprise, there's a click on the intercom, and then a buzz as I'm let in without a single word being spoken? Huh. So, Kirin didn't have to sweet-talk anyone. I try not to dwell on the unexpected invitation as I shrug it all off on luck. As soon as the door closed behind me, it occurs to me just how dark the inside of the building is. I know it's the middle of the night, but I'm not sure whether such a complete lack of light is normal. People live here after all. There should be some signs of life. Buildings usually have at least a few lights on inside, don't they? It's unsettling, although it doesn't make me as nervous as it used to. I know that my vision is going to adjust in the darkness in a moment, letting me navigate the place easily. I'm able to see a lot better in the dark compared to when I was just completely human, but it doesn't work instantly. As I take the first few hesitant steps into the building, the lights flicker on with a harsh buzz. Of course, I'm being such an idiot. There are automatic lights in here. They come on whenever people move. Totally ordinary. It's just that I've never been in this building before. It stands to reason that it feels unusually creepy to me, right? Especially if I had to think about why I'm currently here. All that considered, it feels like it takes longer for me to reach the end of the long hallway than it probably should. It's a dangerous time to let your mind wander into places nobody sane would want it to be wandering to. At least the building inside is noticeably warmer than the outdoors. It makes the whole situation slightly easier to bear. My hands and feet almost start to freeze off out there. The next thing I know, I stand before the elevator door, rooted to the ground, with a sudden sense of someone watching me. Look behind. Abruptly I turn around, more panic exploding inside of me as the automated lights pick that exact moment to cut out. My first instinct is to get my phone out, let it illuminate the sudden darkness of the corridor, and Bassett knows what else is inhabiting it currently. There's nothing. Nothing that I'm able to see anyways. It was just the empty corridor, a row of closed doors along each side, seeming the same when I first entered it. There's nobody there. I don't feel any less on edge when I turn back to the other direction, bearing my back to all that space again, pressing the elevator button as quickly as I can find it. A distant sound of machinery starting up pierces the unnerving silence, followed by a hum which indicates that the elevator is in motion. It is clearly on a different floor, so I wait for it to descend. Taking a deep breath, I try to calm myself. It feels like an eternity drags on as I wait for the thing to arrive. The doors finally slide apart with a slight scraping sound, and the small compartment finally opens up before me. Completely empty. I'm not sure whether I should be surprised or not. A part of me hoped it wouldn't come to this, while another already expected for things to turn out this way. At this point, I decide that the only sensible thing I can think of doing: get into the elevator, ascend to the highest floor, then make my way down the stairs. All in the hope of stumbling upon Kirin, possibly hiding from me on one of the floors. I didn't manage to find her, however. I check every single floor as I proceed downwards, but I don't see Kirin anywhere. 0148. Calling her again is to no avail. Kirin, where are you? This isn't funny anymore. I send her a text message, feeling distraught and tired. She usually replies to me pretty quickly, but the seconds, then minutes, tick by without any reply. I add a second message. Seriously, I'm tired and cold. I'm going home. I'm convinced that she's trying to prank me at this point. I mean, that's the logical thing to assume, right? Kirin said she didn't believe any of this ritual mumbo-jumbo would work. She probably snuck out of the building the moment I got on the elevator. Perhaps it's her presence I felt back in the corridor before. Zero 0223. It's not an easy choice to make, but I eventually decide to leave and head back home by myself. Kirin doesn't arrive at class the next day. I get a call from her parents during one of the breaks, asking me if I know anything about their daughter's whereabouts. Apparently I woke up to find her missing from her room, and she hasn't answered their calls either. I lie about not knowing anything.
You mean to say Kirin went missing? Are you sure this isn't just another one of her stupid pranks?
I don't know.
Well, I probably know less than you do. Last time I talked to her, it was yesterday, when we made the bet. Are you going to look for her?
Why? Are you planning to come along?
Nah, I'm too scared of ghosts.
My encounter with Sapporo comes next. It's not an outcome I'm satisfied with. Our mutual friends claim they have no idea what happened to Kirin either. When the case gets reported to the police the next day, I actually start to believe them. Things are going way too far for a mere prank. Kirin, where the hell are you? Surely the elevator ritual couldn't actually have worked? I find myself standing once again in the lobby of that accursed building late at night. I'm honestly not eager to find out whether this whole elevator game actually works or not. The idea that it might not just be something completely made up chills me to my kitty bones. But any rational thought is an afterthought at this point. Two things have driven me to this madness. One of them being the need to find Kirin, obviously. The second is me feeling like I'm partially responsible for her disappearance. I agreed to this. It was her idea, but I joined her on it. I didn't stop this whole foolish thing. We were both so utterly ignorant. If the ritual indeed worked, Kirin could have ended up stuck somewhere. For all I know, I might currently be the only person who can actually help her. I have to do that before it's too late.
Deep breaths, Asahi.
With a shaky hand, press the button to call the elevator. I've been trying to memorize all of the rules for this stupid game for what feels like forever, but I don't really trust myself to remember it all once things get stressful. Supposedly, this whole thing can screw with your mind in ways you wouldn't expect. Hence why I came prepared and wrote the steps down, both on my phone and a piece of paper I had in my pocket. I also brought with me a backpack with some essentials with me. Food, among other things. Kirin's been gone for a long time. The math speaks for itself. It's not just old food either. It's some of her favorite snacks. My thoughts get interrupted by the sound of the door sliding apart, revealing the small compartment before me again. Empty. Just like last time. With one last glance at my phone, which is now showing 0009, I take a step into the elevator. Right. I'm here now, on the first floor. Alone. Just like I'm supposed to be. It's quiet. Eerily so. Not even attempting this ritual would be the smartest thing to do, honestly. Of all the things I read about it online, and I've read a lot, I did as much research as I could possibly do in the small time frame I had. I didn't find a single person that encouraged anyone to try it out for themselves. Whoever did, and lived to tell a tale, was terrified of the outcome. Of course, I initially assumed that all these stories were fake. Would probably still assume so if it weren't for the weird things that have been happening around the world lately. Kirin's unexplained disappearance on top of them all. Taking a deep breath, I turned to stare at the button panel before me. But before I decide to do anything further, I want to go over the rules in my mind one last time. From beginning to end, just to make sure I absolutely remember them all. Elevator to another world. That's the name of the game. Only one person can play it at a time. The ritual needs to be performed in a building that is at least 10 stories high. And it has to have at least one elevator in it. All three of these conditions need to be met. Otherwise you can't proceed. Recall them in detail. Instructions for the way there. 1. In your chosen building, get into the elevator on the first floor by yourself. If anyone else gets in or gets on the elevator with you, do not proceed. That's simple enough and already done. Then there's an order to the buttons I should press, which is straightforward enough. 2. Press the button for the 4th floor. When the elevator reaches the 4th floor, do not get out. Stay on the elevator and press the button for the 2nd floor. When the elevator reaches the 2nd floor, do not get out. Stay in the elevator and press the button for the 6th floor. When the elevator reaches the 6th floor, do not get out. Stay in the elevator and press the button for the 2nd floor again. When the elevator reaches the 2nd floor, do not get out. Stay in the elevator and press the button for the 10th floor. Some people reported hearing a voice calling out to them during this point in the ritual. You are not supposed to reply. You're not supposed to give an answer in any way. When the elevator reaches the 10th floor, do not get out. Stay in the elevator and press the button for the 5th floor. Now, here's the tricky part. Some people have reported that a woman may enter the elevator on this floor. She may appear as a stranger who wishes to engage with you. However, she may also appear as someone you know. It is important not to acknowledge her in any way. No talking, no looking. If the elevator is reflected, you are only supposed to stare at the floor or the buttons only. Thankfully, there are no mirrors in this one. Press the button for the 1st floor. Now, two things can happen. It is important to pay attention. If the elevator starts to ascend to the 10th floor instead of the 1st, it means the ritual has worked. If it starts descending to the 1st floor, like instructed by the button itself, it means that something has gone wrong and the ritual has failed. In this case, you should get out of the elevator on that floor immediately. If the woman is there, you should remember to not acknowledge her. If you reach the 10th floor, you can choose to leave or stay on the elevator. Some have reported that if you attempt to leave, the woman may try to engage with you one last time. She might raise her voice, shriek at you, or ask a simple question. Keep your wits about you and do not engage with the woman, even out of fear. There's only one way to know for sure whether you have reached the Otherworld. You will know because you'll be the only person there. I'm not sure what to make of that last part, considering why I decided to play this game in the first place. If I'm to find Kirin, does that mean I can't reach the Otherworld the right way? Either way, I simplified these rules and saved in my phone in case I need a reminder. Oh, the ambience here, like that discord, the dissonance. It's uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. Okay. So, here it is. We start with the 4th floor. People have reported that playing the elevator game might mess with your head, make you forget things, or make you feel disoriented. So I'm not about to take any chances. I have it all on a piece of paper in my pocket too. I watched too many movies to be foolish enough to put all my trust in something that can break. Electronics do not often work. Do not work on the other side. If you pass out and wake up at home, it may no longer be your home world, or even the other world you were intending to travel to. Examine everything to make sure nothing is out of the ordinary. If you enter the wrong elevator on your way back, the button sequence will not work. Traveling back, if deciding to stay on the 10th floor, pressing the button for floor 1 until the elevator begins to move. Once on floor 1, exit immediately. Do not leave on any other floors, even if the elevator stops elsewhere. Do not acknowledge the woman or anyone else who might enter the elevator. Traveling back from the other world. The elevator used to get there is the only way you can return. Remember, once in the same elevator, we can probably return to this, but... As I put my phone notes away after double checking the rules, chilling realization hits me. The floor I'm on, according to the elevator, isn't the first floor. It's floor 0. Needless to say, this places me in a predicament of before I've even really started. Do I just assume that the game means ground floor by referring to the first floor? Or is that assumption wrong and I should consider floor 0 as being the wrong floor? What would Kirin have assumed for that matter? Would she even notice this detail to begin with? We proceed as is. I get the feeling Kirin didn't notice this detail. What if she got stuck somewhere precisely because of this fact? And in case she really didn't notice, does this mean I'll be able to follow her to wherever she is if I follow the rules accordingly from this point on too? There's only one way to find that out. Okay, let's try going over this again. I'm on the first floor. 4th floor is next. We're used to it! Oh. Then, floor 2. The audioscape here with that dissonance is so unsettling. Then, floor 6. Then floor 2 again. Then to floor 10. Then floor 5. And finally floor 1. That is a little bit unsettling seeing that little, like, no wait, that's just, maybe that's just a board, right? That's just a board, like, just doing that, right? Go down to floor number 1. Okay. Since the elevator descended back to the exact floor I directed it to, that means the ritual didn't go according to the rules, meaning that it failed. I didn't notice anything out of the ordinary. I didn't notice Kirin anywhere either. So it's likely that I started off on the wrong floor after all. Guess I should be glad it's so late at night and the inhabitants of the building don't really have much reason to use the elevator, and wonder what kind of oddball wants to go up and down like a yo-yo. Either way, I give it a try. I have my answer now. I believe that's my cue to leave the building. I should re-enter the elevator from the first floor. Just to be on the safe side, I make my way towards the playground. That should be enough distance between myself and the building to reset the game, right? My phone's display is now showing 0029. I wait another minute for good measure. I'm about to make my way back to the building entrance with the intention of pressing one of the intercom buttons, when I suddenly notice someone walking down the street. Not to draw attention to myself, I hunched down my shoulders and remained frozen in place, listening to his footsteps that keep getting louder and louder. The person makes his way past me, and for a moment I feel relief, before I realize he's heading towards the same building entrance that I was about to head back to. Perhaps he lives there? He presses the intercom buttons a couple of times, although I can't quite see which. He clearly knows what he's doing, however, as the sound of the door opening reaches my ears. Shortly after. Wanting to use the opportunity, I quickly dash forward, the intention of catching the door before it closes after the stranger.
Thank you.
Oh, do you live here?
That is a wonderful, wonderful drawing. I love this. I love this so much. Crap. You just had to go ahead and make small talk.
No, I came to visit a friend.
A friend? Is that so?
I love this drawing so much. Yeah, small talkers. Okay, so how to freak out a Scandinavian? You start small talking to them. Scandinavians don't know how to small talk, and if you try, it's just, are you talking to me? Huh? And also, be very careful about asking a Scandinavian, how do you do? Because we will tell you. It is not like you don't get the greeting. We will tell you.
Must be a very important friend when you come to visit them so late at night.
Please, just go. Please, just go.
Have we met before? Ah, yes. Sorry. Don't mind me. Just be sure to take the stairs. The elevator's been malfunctioning a lot lately.
I wait for the stranger to go into the building and watch him intently as he makes his way towards one of the hallways. All things considered, he seemed like a decent guy, but for all I know, he might be some kind of creep. And besides, I can't enter the building with other people if I want to follow the rules. I climb the stairs, making sure to enter the elevator from the first floor this time around. Right, let's give this another try. I'm on floor 1. Hopefully the right one. Floor 4 is next. Oh, that is useful. But yeah, I'm not going to. I like this. It's a lovely little thing. 4. Because we are riding the elevator here with the creepy, eerie music, just like, hey, I'm not voice acting. Mostly. Am I voice acting? Then 2. Okay, I guess I am voice acting a little bit when it comes to the just like reading the dialogue. Well, the thoughts. Just a little bit. Trying to get that little bit of a different tone. Then 6. Elevator music? Yeah. And then floor 2 again. The moment I reach the second floor for a second time, I immediately notice a change in the atmosphere. The feeling that something is very, very wrong hits me like a truck, making the hair at the back of my neck stand up. What is this? I can't shake the overwhelming sensation that I should get out of the elevator right now. I can't quite explain it, but if I wasn't completely freaking out before, now it's very hard to do so. It's almost like standing on rail tracks when a train comes straight at you at full speed. You know you have to move if you don't want to get run over. You know you have to move if you don't want to be turned into a wet, fleshy smear along the tracks. If I don't move, I'm going to die. It's the lack of air that snapped me from my stupor. I realize I've been holding my breath ever since the elevator stopped. I breathe in, only to be greeted by a foul smell. It's almost like rotting fish, mixed in with something I can't even name. I'm certain I didn't smell anything like this when I was here before. Floor 10 should be next. Lutefisk. Surströmming. I've been wanting to try surströmming. Yeah, like I want the coffee. I know you have some high quality coffee beans, like really high quality ones. I want it. When the door finally opens on the 10th floor, it's like a breath of fresh air after what feels like minutes of being stuck in a closed can. I notice that the foul smell is suddenly gone. Next is floor 5. And now, a woman that we shall not acknowledge will come on board. Will step on board. Huh? Never mind! This is floor 13! I'm pretty sure I pressed the button for the 5th floor. That's what the rules instructed the player to do after all. I'm pretty sure I pressed the button for the 5th floor. That's what the rules instructed the player to do after all. So why? This is not where the elevator was supposed to go. Not to mention, this is still a 10-story building, isn't it? Getting to the 13th floor is obviously impossible. It shouldn't even exist. I need to stay calm. Even if I'm unnerved by the fact that the elevator door doesn't open up when it supposedly arrived on the floor in question. Did the thing levitate out of the building somehow? That's crazy! It's obviously some kind of mistake. Perhaps the elevator panel is malfunctioning. Maybe I'm on the 5th floor right now, just as intended. There are no instructions for such a scenario taking place in the rules. So I guess I'm left to my own devices and better judgment? Does this mean that ritual failed since it happened? Does this mean something else entirely? If I had to think of any plausible options on what to do next? Oh. Let's see, so we are... So, for the 5th floor... too far back? Because, like, we are here now. There's no woman, so we're like, this is a step that failed right now. I mean, we could just go to floor 1. Because that would be like, you know, doing like, okay, we don't know what's up. Let's do it again. And if we get here again, then we can panic and do something else. Yeah, F1 would technically be the next step anyway, so let's do that. I pressed the button for floor number 1, but it doesn't seem to work. Okay, even better. Okay, I pressed the button for floor 5 again, but that also doesn't work. There's only one thing left. With neither of the other options working, I press the button for opening the door. I seem to be greeted by a floor at least. So the elevator hasn't levitated out of the building after all. Probably. What are the odds that I managed to get to the other world already and now the building somehow has more floors? It seems like a crazy idea, but everything about this has been crazy enough to begin with. Who knows what to expect? I know I shouldn't leave the elevator at any cost, but... I noticed something standing out in the corridor before me, pretty close to the door. If I try hard enough, I'm pretty sure I could reach it without stepping out. Should I? Curiosity killed the cat? Curiosity absolutely killed the cat. I get on my knees, careful not to leave the compartment. Then I reach out for the piece of paper that's lying on the ground. A note in scarlet. April 13th. Now we're getting those abominations into our school? Fucking great. Just what we needed. One of them looks sort of cute. I wonder what she'd sound like when we set her clothes on fire. The date on this is missing. There's no year. But if it's from the current one, it could be from a couple of months ago. Wait. Isn't that from the day I transferred? I get snapped away from my thoughts with the elevator door suddenly closing. Before I can even think about what to possibly do next, the small compartment is put into motion without my input. I can't shake the weird feeling that something was waiting for me to pick up that note before letting me proceed further. Did some greater force guide me? Was I being watched? The idea is absurd, and yet... The elevator seems to have descended back to the 5th floor, just like I prompted for it to do last time, before I got taken to a floor that wasn't even supposed to exist. Does this mean that the ritual is still going according to the rules? I honestly don't know. The rules mention that there might be some kind of woman getting into the elevator at this point in the game, but I can't see anybody. There's just something distinct that stands out next to the elevator door again. I can probably reach it without having to step outside, just like last time. We're going for it! I keep finding these notes. They seem like some diary entries at first, but none of it makes any sense at this point. Could it be that this place somehow captures your thoughts and turns them into these things? Will somebody be finding mine too? It seems like another one of those notes, but this one's completely different from the one I found earlier. The writing has a different shape, and the paper itself has a different tint to it. Is it safe to assume that this isn't the same person's? We're going down! Not taking any chances, I take the silent invitation to leave without a second thought. I run out of the building as fast as my legs allow me to. God damn it! What the hell was that? The rules say I should leave the building immediately if the elevator descends back to the first floor instead of the 10th, so I did just that. Am I safe now? Does this mean the game is reset? And I can attempt it anew once I go back to the elevator right now? Why do these rules have to be so vague? Ugh! I check my phone for good measure, curious about the time. It seems like a couple of minutes have passed since I got into the elevator. Nothing out of the ordinary then. Even if it feels like I was trapped in there for hours instead. Decided to take a short break. I get something hot from the vending machine. Coffee should be good for keeping me on my toes, even if adrenaline is currently doing that job pretty well. Where was I? There we go. I made sure to bring more change with me this time around. Coffee. Huh? I reach to take my canned coffee, only to notice there is a bottle of chocolate milk instead. Did the machine malfunction? Or did someone buy it before me and just leave it there? It must have been a malfunction. I did put money in, and I did hear it doing vending machine things. On further inspection, the factory seal is still intact, so it's definitely not someone else's half-finished drink. I'm still not about to drink it, but I suppose I can take it with me. Damn it though. It just means I just used up my change and got no coffee in return. Stupid machine! Ow! Frustrated, I head back to the building entrance, hitting one of the intercom buttons. I try to make sense of what I experienced in the elevator, but I'm at a loss. All in all, the sooner I can find Kirin, the sooner I'll be able to leave this place and never come back. I'm not really in the mood to dwell on this.
Hello?
I'm shaken out of my thoughts when I suddenly hear a voice from the intercom. Crap! This isn't how it went last time. This wasn't supposed to happen all of a sudden.
Hello? Who's there?
What should I say? Girls got cookies?
I forgot my keys.
Yeah, and I forgot mine. At least get more creative. Beat it, kid.
Well, that went well. Great going, Asahi. It's a radio demon. Alistair's a name. A pleasure to meet you. I just about want to curl up and die from embarrassment, but I forced myself to press one of the intercom buttons again. A different one this time. I can't let this stop me. I will humiliate myself as many times as it takes. I need to get back into the building. To my surprise, I'm greeted with the sound of entry this time around. Yeah, Radio Demon is, that's a good comparison. It's the radio, it's Alistair! Radio Demon! Radio Demon is here! I want to see more Has-Been Hotel. Has-Been Hotel was fantastic. Someone simply lets me in, no questions asked. Just like before. Victory? I exhale, quickly getting into the building. It still feels so jarring how eerily quiet is inside of the... It still feels so jarring how eerily quiet the inside of it is compared to the outside. It's like the door of the building is a portal to another world out of its own already. Gathering my thoughts, I remember the notes I found. This has to mean something. I am determined to get to the bottom of this. I should attempt that ritual again. Maybe I did something wrong before. This bizarre setting. And here we go. So, for setting out... So, we have two notes. We have this one that is just talking about like more notes around, and this one talking about like the 13th of April. Setting someone's clothes on fire. Oh, that's nasty. That's not nice. That's very rude. Lost and found, huh? It's Lost and Found's reception window. I'm not sure if these are common in buildings like these. Seems a bit out of place for one to be here, if you ask me. The Neckos. Wait. Seems like someone isn't too happy about someone else's living habits. The what now? Penguin Rebellion. A lone village against a feathery outrage. It looks like a maze. Maybe there's a treasure buried where the red dot is? A piece of a card. Someone tore it in half. Do I need to find the other half, or...? Oh. We're gonna keep that one. Keep looking around. It says bread on the box. What would bread be doing in a place like this? How old is this carton even? There's no actual bread in there, right? I'm not willing to check. There's some kind of X mark on the wall, marked on the wall here. Is this where the treasure is buried? Do I need to get a hammer to get to the bottom of this? Yeah, right. Let's fool. No, you're the fool. No, you're the fool. You fool. Ah, fool. Sorry, I'm going about this the wrong way. Jokes aside, this is clearly some kind of hint. It's time to decipher this message. Ah. I was going about this the wrong way. The way it's supposed to be is, fool! You fool! I am so sick and tired of foolishly fools who are foolishly behaving like fools. That's how this is supposed to be, right? Because I am Francisca von Karma and I am perfect in everything, unlike you fools. Oh. Exactly. The Fool represents the very first tarot card, usually marked as number 0. Is that what this sign has in mind here? Do we take notes on that? No, we don't. Twitter shuts down? Millions dead? I am so sorry. I just can't get away from after hearing some Swedes say Twitter as Twitter. I just can't. I was like, yeah. Oh right, that's a good point. I mean, it wasn't years by now. How long has this clipping been here? Important phone numbers. This list seems like a list of important phone numbers, but it's totally illegible. Ketchup on eggs, redefining flavor. The fuck? Says famous chef Rawdon Gamesey. Onion and bacon go well together. Hey, don't be a hater. Ketchup is good with anything. Newspapers around here are something else. Who even reads these nowadays anymore? So we have some of these. Huh? Why are there Oh. Our names on this thing. Three of our names, anyway. Who is this fourth person's? I'm pretty sure I'm not familiar with that name. Raki, Sapporo, Asahi, Kirin. It is so, like, I hate, it's so annoying when words are backwards in things like this. Kirin, are you the one behind this? It was worth a shot, yeah. What happened to this Sudoku puzzle? Did mice bite through the numbers or something? The holes looks like some cute bats. Yeah, I figured I'm gonna go back to this to that one to just figure out what more names are here. Cause but I need to, like, you know, recognize them. And cause like, I'm not gonna spend some time like looking for names right now, but I reckon there's gonna be some names here that we can look at for referencing later. Just looking at this gives me the creeps. I wish I had a pen I could scratch out these with. It's a row of lockers, obviously belonging to the residents of this building. How can this place possibly be so badly maintained that even one of them has a readable label? It's as if they are rusted over. They could use some management or replacement. Hey. Tarot reading. It's actually been a while since I had my fortune read. My aunt makes a living from tarot readings, so I'm not a stranger to those. I find them pretty fun. And I can never resist the temptation of getting a glimpse into the future, as vague it might be at times. That being said, maybe it's a number I should keep in mind? Some kind of graffiti. Looks cute. It's a big cube. Clearly meant for giants. Or someone with very, very bad eyesight. It's a Rubik's Cube? But instead of colors, it has numbers on it. Are those supposed to be Sudoku? What kind of mad person would want to get these, let alone solve them? Oh yeah. That is cursed. Rubik's Cube Sudoku? That is incredibly cursed. Yeah, it's like a graffiti. Don't let yourself get eaten, Mr. Crow. Graffiti. It seems like madness to want to solve one of these. These are boxes stuffed on the counter. They seem to be full of more of those weird cubes. A pair of scissors. Not really something I'd like to carry around with me. I made a mistake of running around with scissors once, and I still have the scar to prove it. It's not big or clever, and I'm not doing it right now. Is that yarn? Oh no, it's totally yarn. Deep breath, Asahi. You can ignore it. Just don't look at it for too long. Yeah. Ever since I became a catgirl, I get the uncontrollable urge to play around with the yarn ball whenever I see one. It's like the yarn itself taunts my very existence. Not this time, you cheeky little devil. Oh. Whatever this is, gives me... it gives off a weird kind of energy, like it could stare right into my soul. The more I stare at it, the creepier it gets. Yeah, Majora's Mask, that's my thought too. Deep breaths, don't look at it for too long. Is this somebody's diary? Oh, now we're getting to the good part. Yeah, as if. It's a notebook, and the pages that weren't ripped out from it seem to be blank. Horse equals 4? Could this have anything to do with the wooden plate thing near the entrance? Horse equals 4. It seems like some kind of hint. Oh my gosh, that's the cutest fortune doll I've seen ever! I wonder if I could get one of those from somewhere on the internet. Definitely something to keep in mind for later on. Who's the cutest fortune doll? You are! With glowing eyes. Somebody left their mug here. It's full of some dark liquid. I think I can smell a hint of coffee. But it's obviously cold. And I don't want to know how long it's been there in the first place. Hey, another card! Is that blood? It's a card with 2 hearts. It's an ashtray, but it's empty and clean. Clearly hasn't been used recently. My nose is thankful. Yeah, ashtrays, like this. I loathe the smell of cigarettes. I don't like it. I will always respect those who, you know, take the effort to go outside, and do their smoking outside. It's like just very, very thankful for that. My father's a smoker, but he always would take his smokes outside. Step outside and smoke. So I never had to endure that, like the secondhand smoking. It's some kind of board depicting animals. It seems like one of those things where you engrave wood by burning it. Is it supposed to tell me something? The only thing it's telling me is that a horse is a gentleman horse. A gentle horse, if you will. That being said, I have no idea why anyone would want to put something like this here. Perhaps they wanted the rest of the building's inhabitants to see their artistic endeavors? This board, could it have anything to do with the note I found under the counter? Could each animal represent a number? It's a fire extinguisher. Hopefully I won't find a reason to use it. 8 legs. Yeah, that is true. So 6 for 8. The plant has definitely seen better days. I almost feel sorry for it. Shouldn't the residents take better care of it? I think we have exhausted our options here. So let's go upstairs. Enter the elevator room on the first floor. Yes. Let's try that combination then. So, 6. And see what happens. Down to the 4th floor. And then up to the 8th floor. No, I'm not going to. We'll do that. Because we all did that sort of previously. This though is different. Well, I definitely ended up somewhere else. Let's step on. It's a flight of stairs. Really long stairs. Leading downwards. Well, this is just great. I honestly wish I'd brought a flashlight with me or something. Because it seems my phone isn't working. Has the battery died? I can't even turn it on anymore. I really don't want to trip and fall in this darkness. It is utterly unfair that it's such an inky blackness down there. In any normal sort of dark corner of a building, I can see way better than I used to be able to. Here though, it's like the place wants me to feel unsettled. I reached the end of the stairs, my feet finally landing on an extended flat surface, only to realize how incredibly dark it's gotten. It's so dark that I can't even see my own hand right before my face. Not even my kitty vision is helping. I carefully look back, curious to see whether I'll see the light trickling down from the stairs above, only to be greeted by nothing more than pure, anonymous darkness. It's then and there that I realize there's no going back anymore. I'm down here, in this frightening darkness, with the only option to move forward. Surely this corridor has to end somewhere. I'm still in a building, right? One that's restrained by walls? Those should be good enough for some guidance. I'm going to have to feel my way through this place somehow, and I'm going to try my very best not to change direction I'm facing, hoping that this method will prevent me from getting lost. Careful steps, Asahi. You can do this. Okay, so forward, forward, forward. There's a wall in that direction. This direction. Oh, okay. So 2 forward. There's a wall in this direction. So there's a wall here. Okay, so this is where we were in the previous. So I have no idea what it is, but I trip over something. And despite all logic telling me to ignore it and keep going, something at my core tells me to stop. And so I kneel down, trying to feel around the cold concrete floor, searching for whatever it is that made me lose my balance. There's something big and round. It's almost the size of a human head, but it's definitely not a human head. It feels a bit squishier to touch. Why did I even feel like it was a good idea to touch it? Wait, it smells like cabbage? Should I even ask? Is this a head? And also the little sound effects are like, yay! My cabbages! What the hell is a cabbage head doing in a place like this? I suppose it's not the worst thing I could have stumbled upon, all things considered. I place it back down, taking a mental note so that I don't possibly trip over it again. I found cabbage! Achievement unlocked. There's a wall in this direction. This is the cabbage. Also, looking a little bit, looking a little bit unsettling there. Whatever. You're not Kirin. Oh crap! What? Don't move! Don't move! Please don't move. It is like, don't acknowledge it. Do we dare acknowledge this? There's a wall in this direction. I had an unexpected encounter today. It wasn't the woman that's been mentioned in the rules. It was more of a lost soul looking for a connection. There wasn't much I could offer her, but the information she shared with me gave me a strange sense of solace. I wonder what this means. Maybe not all beings encountered while playing this game are up to no good. Not that I'm willing to find out the hard way. Oh, past it! Yes! Some light! A way out of this godforsaken hellhole! Possibly. Please be open, please be open. Uh-huh? What the? There's no way that door led me right back here to the lobby. I was on like floor minus 100. This makes absolutely no sense. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. This place is the absolute worst. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. Did this red note appear here because I went through those dark corridors? It wasn't there before, that's for sure. It's the entrance to the building. Currently battling the front door at my dentist's office for my least favorite. Should we maybe acknowledge the Kirin lookalike upstairs? Or shall we like return to that later? I'm guessing this is the way down to the basement. Well, it seems to be closed, so I'm not getting down there anytime soon. Not that I would want to. Let's take a look. I press the call button, but nothing happens. Probably because the elevator is just there, waiting on this floor. Which is actually suspicious in itself. Why is it stuck like that? Though it adds a little bit of illumination to the lobby, so I can't really complain. A creepy looking vent. Nothing out of the ordinary here. I could probably crawl through it if I could unscrew the cover, except I can't see the screws. Don't have a screwdriver, and I'm not that stupid. 302. Actually, it's the elevator, but I shouldn't enter it from this floor if I want to stay true to the game's rules. Let's actually take the elevator from here and go to the 3rd floor. Like, and just like check out when it, like, is there a smell on the 3rd floor from the 302? Nothing strikes here. Let's go to the 6th floor. Because there was the doors being open on the 6th floor that we saw earlier. The doors are open, but nothing really happens there. Let's check the just check the basement. Just see if there's something there. Only darkness. Okay. Let's go back outside then. Let's leave the building. I decide to step out and leave the building for a moment, then come back into the lobby again. Okay, let's go upstairs and see what happens if we try to play the game again. So, 4. Two. Six. Down to 2 again. Get greeted by the immense, unsettling feeling. Ten. Down to 5. And then go back down to 1. And it's taking up to floor 10 now. Despite the fact that I clicked the 1. rats. I thought I was prepared for almost anything. And yet, the moment the elevator doors open up before me on the last stop of the ritual, I'm taken completely off guard. The place is surprisingly bright. I'm not even sure what I thought I was going to find, but this is beyond anything I imagined. Did my attempt actually work this time around? Did I finally make it to the other world? Is this where Kirin ended up as well? Before I step out though, just to check the bag, leave or stay. And then if the elevator is still there, 2 through plus the 1. Well, let's take a step outside. Carefully, I take a step outside of the elevator, daring to put myself in the weird and lurid landscape. Then the elevator door slides shut behind me, startling me. I turn around and see them looking just like they always do. Pretty nondescript dark metal with a few scrapes and scratches. Almost reassuringly normal right now. On a whim, I press the buttons to open the doors again. And that doesn't sound good. The doors don't move either. So I think I have 2 options. 1, I can panic, because I don't seem to be able to go back right now. Or 2, I can move forward and explore. Whatever Earth or off-world Earth I am. The place I've been trying to get to since I got here.
No turning back now, Asahi.
The only way is forward. As I advance, more details catch my attention. The opposite wall at the very end of the corridor seems to be missing. The whole corridor also seemed to be stacked with some kind of strange dark boxes. Some have odd shapes. Something about their texture perplexes me. It almost looks like those kinds of materials that would eat up all the light around them and don't reflect anything back. What if touching one of them will eat me all up too? I have to be careful. I'd rather not touch anything around here if I don't have to. The further I go, the weirder things get. The corridor eventually ends, but the floor keeps extending further past the stairs, in the form of a lowered landing. I turn around to look back at the corridor I just traversed, taking in the view. I definitely don't want to lose my way around this place, so I need to keep track of my surroundings. Thankfully, it seems pretty straightforward so far. Well, I made it all the way here. I'm not going back until I find Kirin, or until I'm convinced that she is not here. Wow. I'm not sure what I expected, but this... It is really the other world, isn't it? I can't believe this whole crazy game actually worked. This place actually exists. Or maybe I just don't want to go. I guess I can't really argue that it does. What is this place? As I keep going further, my fears get confirmed. The floor cuts off abruptly, resulting in a dead end. There's a path that continues on the other side, but there's no visible way for me to get there. And even if becoming part kitty has improved my ability to jump and land gracefully, I don't think even an Olympic jumper with a hang glider could make that distance. No Kirin anywhere so far either. Did we somehow manage to end up in different places in the other world? Or in even different other worlds after all this? Does it mean I have to try to go back somehow? Puzzle out the broken elevator? Wait. That definitely wasn't there before. There's no way I missed it. Will Asahi come and help me this time too? Will she come to my rescue just like she did the past few months? I don't deserve to be loved by someone like her. I don't deserve to be loved. What is all this?
Asahi?
Kirin?
She definitely wasn't there a second ago either. How?
Are you? Is that really you?
Only if you're really you.
No. Why are you on the other side?
That's my line! How did you get there?
Through the elevator, of course. Why? Did you use a different one?
Unless you somehow magically changed buildings, I used the same elevator you did.
I hate this place so much! Well, don't just stand there. Go find a ladder, or something.
A ladder? Are you crazy?
How else are we supposed to get out of here?
Kirin has a point though. There's no way either of us could possibly make this jump. We might be more flexible as catgirls now, but it's still too much of a stretch even for us. We'd jump and fall to our doom, that's for sure. Would some kind of rope help us? Is there even rope to be found around here? Probably not.
So you came.
Sapporo? Is that you?
Again with that sprite. I love it so much.
What are you doing here?
Waiting for your arrival.
What?
You bitch! This is all your fault!
Listen. Asahi, you need to find the camera.
Oh no, you don't. Don't listen to her, Asahi!
That's the only way to save us.
What are you talking about?
She moves so fast, I can barely even blink. And since I'm so far away, I can only watch in utter horror as Kirin takes a step towards Sapporo and shoves her from the landing they're on, making her fall. Sapporo disappears into the cloudy layers of white below. It's as though she was never there. I can't see anything of her. And I can't hear anything either. I stare dumbfounded, trying to wrap my mind around what just transpired before my very eyes. Before my gaze wanders back to Kirin. She is staring right back at me. And she looks agitated. Angry. Not a hint of remorse in her.
Kirin? What? How could you do something like that?
She was trying to get in between us, can't you tell? How naive can you be? Open your eyes, Asahi. Face reality. Wake up already. Face reality! Wake up already!
What? What the hell was... Blank space! Another visual novel I want to get to. Well, another game I want to get to. More games I've heard good things about. But I need to play this first. I wonder if there'll be soul set images around too. Why am I suddenly back in my room? And Kirin? What the hell? Why did you do that? I know you have some sadistic tendencies, but that was going way too far. Yeah, evidently she does. Did she actually... I quickly reached for my phone, intending to text Sapporo when I noticed a bunch of texts from Kirin instead. Hey, we still going? Out your window, come on! At my window? Oh, right. We agreed to go to that building tonight. I must have fallen asleep. Wait. Huh? What was it that I dreamed about again? It feels like it was something important, but the details suddenly elude me. When I meet up with Kirin and tell her about the bad dream, and I shouldn't go play this stupid game, she only laughs at me. You're such a scaredy cat, Asahi, she says. Figures. It's a cold winter night. Welcome to the Otherworld. And we have reset the game. Cabbage forgotten.
So we are.
I do think this is actually a good place to just stop it though. Because I have like about 10 minutes more before I have to stop. So this is a good place to end it for tonight. Oh, I'm enjoying myself so much. This is wonderful. Yeah, cliffhanger, key choice. Stop in 5 minutes, okay. Well, we're gonna keep going with Coco because Coco is amazing.
Pardon.
Nah. Huh? Confused, I looked to the side, only to notice a stranger standing right next to me. What is he doing here? And why is he staring at me like that?
Would you mind telling me what time it is?
I try to remember what time it was when I last checked my phone and come out blank. How long could it have taken me to get my drink? The vague idea that this guy might be asking me just to steal my phone passed my mind, but I try not to panic. Maybe he just genuinely doesn't know? Maybe he forgot to take his own phone with him or something. I take a careful look at the screen.
It's 1:23 a.m.
Ah, perfect. Such an easy number to remember, isn't it?
1:23. 1, 2, 3.
Excuse me?
1, 2, 3. Though you might want to add a 4 to that.
What?
Oh, and 2 more things. First of all, you dropped this.
In a place where time is an illusion, the impossible starts being possible. There are places in the Otherworld where electronics do work. It's the last piece of the puzzle I need.
I dropped this, but it's not...
And second, take this.
Why are you giving me this?
It might come in handy to you, if you ever end up being lucky.
Lucky?
Have a good evening.
We're given a key with a eye on it. My brain was short-circuited for a moment because when I finally bring myself to react, I noticed that the person is already gone. I can't see him on the playing ground anywhere, nor on the street. Where did he go? He was literally just standing right next to me a second ago. What the hell was that even all about? I knew coming here was a bad idea. Why can't I shake off the weird feeling that I know that guy from somewhere? And... oh no! Kirin! Everything suddenly comes back to me. Everything suddenly dawns upon me. I run to the building entrance without a second thought. I yell at the top of my lungs, but I already know it's futile. We're still in the clutches of this game. We've been in the clutches of this game since long before this day even started. How long has it been since Kirin actually disappeared? Did I even find her just now? What did that guy say again? 1, 2, 3, 4? And that's where we're stopping. Good call on that one. This is where we're stopping. I always like save over this one. I am enjoying myself so much. So, to those of you on the YouTube archive, I hope you've enjoyed it. I most certainly have. And I hope to see you next time. Until then, have a good one.